If you've ever asked yourself, will wholesalers go broke? Well, you come to the right place, and I'm sure the answers are not going to be what you're expecting. Hi, my name is Dohn Thornton. I'm known as Don the Short Sale Guy because I have helped well over 3,500 homeowners in my 20-year career get out from under foreclosure, out from under an upside down house, and to save their credit. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about why wholesalers are going to go broke in 2023. I'm going to explain that their ignorance of real estate history is going to be their downfall. I'm going to talk about why they can't adapt to the growing or the changing market. And I'm going to explain that oftentimes, to their peril, they ignore short sales. And that's a really bad mistake. So let's get into it. Okay, let's talk about the ignorance that wholesalers have when it comes to real estate history. And listen, you could paint a very wide brush with Americans in general who don't know or don't follow history and don't learn from it and don't recognize trends that tend to happen over and over again. Luckily, I am a frustrated history nerd. I love history. I read all about history. And I like to research the market that I'm in, the niche that I'm in. And for me, obviously, I'm on the short sale guy, so it's about short sales. So my business depends on, are we in a stable market? Are we in a rising market? Are we in a lower market, declining market? And for me, the last 2 or 3 years, things have been a little tight, especially since COVID hit, when my main source of leads here in Florida was gone for almost 2 years because of COVID, and they shut down the foreclosures. So that was quite the experience for me. It rivals the time in 2006 when the market was turning fast and I didn't have any closings for almost 18 months. So this has not been as bad, but it's close. So let's talk about the history. Well, I've noticed that every time that the market goes haywire, and in my 20-year career, it's happened twice. The first time I got in, I started real estate investing in 2020, 2002, I should say. And the market here in Florida was hot. And it got to a boiling point the last quarter of 2005. Once we got into 2006, it really started to slow down. And then by 2007, we were seeing massive drops of, actually in 2006 we were starting to see the massive drops of home prices, and that led to so many people being in foreclosure and being upside down. So what do I see happening here? The same similarities. And because we had an artificial bubble with COVID and the foreclosures being um, the foreclosure mandate, not having any foreclosures filed, so many distressed sellers, their houses that would have been on the market weren't, and so there just wasn't enough. There weren't enough houses to meet the demand, and that was a huge thing. So I remember back in 2006, 2007. I knew so many people. It's just like it is now. Everybody and their dog wanted to become a real estate investor. They all wanted to do fix and flips. They wanted to do wholesaling. And you know what? Most of them just they were gone. They lost everything. And I can't tell you how many times I was picking up investors' properties that were upside down. I had to do short sales, and of course their credit was killed. It was terrible, and it's going to happen again. I believe in 2023. So if you're a wholesaler, now is the time to be thinking about what you're going to do, because I firmly believe in 2023 that as the year goes on, you're going to get less and less opportunities to wholesale properties, and most of you are one trick ponies, and you're not going to know how to adapt. So what I don't want you to not adapt to is subscribing to my channel. I am seriously trying to give you this best content I can about short sales. Take this knowledge from my head and get it to you. And so, subscribe and hit the bell for when you're updated when these videos drop, because you need to hear what I'm talking about, especially in the coming 4 to 5 months. You need to make sure that you know what you can do, what your roadmap is, to make sure you can not just survive, but to thrive. All right, let's talk about the fact that most wholesalers cannot adapt to new market conditions. I don't know. This is completely anecdotal evidence. I have no idea about the statistics, but it really seems like most of the people, most of the wholesalers that I speak with, and I speak to about 15 a week right now because I'm actively looking to start to establish relationships with wholesalers and teach them, that they need to start pivoting to something else. So I talk to a lot of them, and I've only spoken to a very few that have been in the business longer than even 6 years. Most of them are newbies, or they've been around 3, 5 years, let's say. When it gets down to 6, 10, or whatever, you don't hardly see any because a lot of times they've moved on to something else. Because a lot of people don't do short or wholesaling if they don't have to, right? It's kind of an entryway thing. You got to pay your dues. You got to do less grunt work, and then you learn. And most people just get out from it as soon as they can. Uh, Again, I am going off of previous experience. From what I've seen in 2006 and 7, most wholesalers were gone. 90, 95% of them were gone because they could not adapt. And, they're trained that in a stable or a rising market, then you can find those spreads between what a cash investor will pay and what a homeowner is willing to sell for. As our economy gets worse, interest rates are rising. The Fed's going to probably raise rates again in November. That's going to rise. Interest rates are going to go higher. Then we're going to get less and less buyers. We're going to get the market is going to go down. Okay, and the prices will have to drop. Sellers will have to drop their prices to be able to make sure that they can find a buyer. And every time those prices drop, more and more people are upside down. Okay, so as a wholesaler, if you're searching for distressed sellers, you're going to find more and more of them are upside down, and you can't work with them as a wholesaler. Your method will not work. Okay, so you're going to start. It's like I remember I watched a video, a National Geographic during a story about I think it was in Southern Africa, and there was a once in a generation drought. And so all the rivers were drying up, the water holes were drying up, the lakes were drying up, and the crocodiles that had were ambushing prey next to those water sources. They were just having a field day because there was just meat on the platter because animals were so desperate to drink. They took insane risks to be able to get some water. And those crocodiles, they were just going to town and they were getting huge. And boy, everything was great until there were no more animals. And then the crocodiles started to die. And the ones that were the bigger ones who had so much fat, they were able to dig holes in the riverbank, crawl in there, and wait a year and a half sometimes. And a lot of them died out. And that's my point is that at least those few could survive until the market changed, or in case the drought and the water started going back. That's what happens with wholesalers. What's going to happen to wholesalers if you don't. So listen, wholesalers, if you're watching this or you're real estate investors, leave me a comment. I love it when my viewers comment and engage with me. It's great. Happens a lot on social media, not as much on my channel. I would like for it to be more because, frankly, algorithm reward me for your engagement because it's a win-win for both of us. So go ahead and leave a comment. I'd love it. All right, I want to talk now about what I think is just absolutely horrible sin that most wholesalers will make, and will make back before 2006, is that they don't pay attention to short sales. If I'm in your position right now, if I'm a wholesaler, I'm telling you, my radar is over on short sales more and more. And so while you can really hard to align yourself coming market is to joint venture, establish relationships with a experienced 20-year investor like me. I want to joint venture with you. I want to partner with you. All you have to do is when you're out there looking for distressed sellers, as you find more and more upside down homeowners, now you can monetize those leads. because you can give them to me. I can help you close them, and then we do all the heavy lifting on our side. We negotiate with the bank, we create the spread, and then we have our exit strategy, and you can get paid. Okay, we are so good at this. Now, while we do sell courses and I do mentor and coach people, that's great for a certain percentage of the market. But I found that most wholesalers don't want to do that, and a lot of them can't afford it anyway. So the easiest way for you to be able to thrive and keep going as a real estate investor is start adapting now. You can join my Facebook group. It's called Short Sales Secrets, and start learning now and work with me, and I'll take every single short sale you can find. So within a few months, you're going to have an excellent pipeline built up. It's only going to grow. Your pipeline will get more and more and more as you discover that there is a hidden gem, a hidden income source for you. But you've got blinders on. Most of you have blinders on. If you take the blinders off, and you'll see, listen to me, and what I'm telling you right now will save your business, and you won't have to go back to try to find a day job. Or if you're working a day job, you'll be stuck with that again. And listen, the economy is not going to be very good either. So, you may get laid off. So this is your insurance to make sure that you are going to be able to survive. So go down to the description, reach out to me, leave a comment. My links are in the description, and then we can talk about how I can help you. Let's get started now, educating you on how you can work with me and start getting that pipeline built up so you can thrive. Thanks.